Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in good spirits wherever you are in the world. Now, I have been inspired of late to share with you some films that I consider ones that I could strongly recommend. And so, just to continue with that kind of video, please allow me to speak about a film that I have already spoken about on this channel. It is a film from a filmmaker that I have already spoken about on this channel many a time. That filmmaker is Edward Yang, and this film is one that was released in 1986. This is a Taiwan film. This is one of those miracles of cinema. This is a real, challenging, fascinating, complex work of cinematic art. We've already come to expect nothing but greatness from the mind of Edward Yang, that just brilliantly intellectual and emotionally honest mind of Edward Yang. It was uncompromising, and it was brilliant, and it was always showing us something to do with the human condition, both in its good lights and its not so good lights, and everything in between, which is what we would call the human experience. And here is an example of one of those great expressions of the human experience, both on a universal level and also on the level of an expression of the identity of Taiwan, and how these two levels interconnect, both in, or not both, but in an incredibly complicated web of network of character connections and thematic connections to create what is ultimately a sort of artistically satisfying work, but also one that continues to ask questions, and one that continues to fascinate and shock and disturb, and also create senses of awe and wonder at the real great potential that is the expressiveness of the human condition. This is the film Terrorizers. Terrorizers. So this is not a Criterion release. This is a release of the film on Japanese Blu-ray that I have. This particular Blu-ray does not have English subtitles. However, I do understand that this film has been released both on Blu-ray and DVD from other labels, maybe from Asia. And so if you are interested, and those have English subtitles, and so if you are interested, you should check out those. Also, I do understand also from our dear friends that perhaps this film is available, I think, for example, in North America on streaming. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But whatever the case is, however you are able to see this film, I would strongly recommend you check it out. Now, based on the back of this Japanese Blu-ray, it is 109 minutes, so less than 2 hours. Now, you know, one of the things about Edward Yang films is their running time, and his greatest works oftentimes have a very incredible length in terms of running time. And that could, of course, turn off a number of viewers, and I think it's not an unreasonable proposition to feel that way, because our time is limited, of course. I would say, of course, however, that even the long films from Edward Yang are really brilliant, and I would strongly suggest giving those a chance if you haven't already. They go by really quickly. That being said, I do understand and appreciate how maybe running time could be a factor for a number of people, maybe for a lot of people, who knows. And so with that in mind, I would strongly suggest, for example, this film, Terrorizers. You get the greatness of Edward Yang, and you get it in a film that is less than 2 hours. And so this is, again, one of those truly powerful, magical, shocking works. And it's one that plays with music and time. It plays with national identity and personal identity and human identity on a large scale and also on an intimate scale. It is talking about the positive effects of the influence of, let's say, a growing capitalist society. It also talks about the negative effects of that. It talks about characters that are trying to act nobly, but also deals with characters that are acting cruelly, and the effects of these things, and how these effects really turn from little tiny incidents to slowly grow in stature and significance until ultimately they explode before our very eyes, and we see them explode, and the way in which they explode really sheds light, a lot of light, into these aspects of, as I say, the human condition, both on a level of Taiwan identity, and also on a level of universal identity. And so there is so much going on. It is a powerhouse of a film. It is a true powerhouse of a film. I strongly, strongly recommend this. The way the characters are interconnected and the way that they connect will surprise, 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 I guarantee you. Incidentally, I should also say that if you are interested in watching this film but have not seen this film yet, please avoid watching any trailers. Do not watch any trailers for the film. My understanding is that all trailers that are available, for instance, on YouTube to watch, do give away some information. It's not necessarily the end scenes, but it does give away enough information for those of us who might be able to put the pieces together to figure out what might happen at the very end. So do not watch any of the trailers, please, if you haven't seen the film. You can watch them after the fact. After you've seen the film, you can watch the trailers. But if you haven't seen the film and you are looking for a great, really great Edward Yang film, and you haven't seen Terrorizers yet, try to track down a copy of Terrorizers. Don't watch any trailers, and please enjoy the film for what it is. It has such a powerful impact, a lot of sting and a lot of heart and a lot of sorrow and a lot of insight, and so much is going on, and so much of it is also very relevant to a kind of urban city living, but also just living among each other and with each other and trying to relate one-on-one with other people, whether those relationships be between couples or between friends or between family members or between people who don't even know each other. These relationships do count in an Edward Yang film, and that is certainly the case with this very, very powerful work called Terrorizers. I have spoken about this film on many occasions in the past. I've done a video on this in my journey through the works of Edward Yang, but as far as recommending this film, I strongly, strongly recommend it for anyone who has not yet seen it. Once again, the work is Terrorizers. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now, and so thank you very much for your time as always, and so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you once again for your time, and cheers.